Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure vehicle review. Today, we're going to be looking at the Mattel Hot Wheels radio-controlled The Batman the Batmobile. This is a 6 or 7 inch scale Batmobile car from the Batman. No other company has made this, although Spin Master has a 1/6 scale 12 inch scale version that looks like it's going to work for the 6 and 7 inch scale figures. There was a very expensive version of this with the Batcave, but this is the basic version with just the car. Should scratch my itch for a Batmobile to accommodate my McFarlane the Batman figures. So let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see, got the Pattinson Batman here, Hot Wheels radio controlled, the Batman, the Batmobile, age 6 plus. You can see the speeds. This is the original edition by DC and Mattel. Other side of the package, the Batman. Here's the car. Back, little description, barcode in case that helps anybody. And on the other side, you can see has lights, a remote. So no further ado, let's open it up. And as we open it up, the packaging seems pretty nice. Alright, now that we got this vehicle out of the package, here it is with all the accessories laid out. It doesn't come with any traditional accessories. There is a more expensive $500 version that comes with a ramp, bat signal, some bat computers, and a little piece of the Batcave. That thing looks really cool, and I really wish I could get those Batcave pieces. But I don't really understand why it's $400 more than this one, just for those things. It does not seem worth it. It does also come with a Batman figure that is attached to the car. The car does come with a charging cable, an instruction manual, and a remote control. Let's get those out of the way real quick. Here's the charging cable. Looks like you're going to have to provide your own wall port. Plug into the car. Instruction manual folds out in a bunch of different languages. Then we have the remote control. Takes 2 AA batteries that are not included. There is a rechargeable battery for the car that's included, and you can't access that, but you can just plug it in. And now what we all came here to see, the car. This is the Batmobile for the recently released film, The Batman. At the Mattel website, it's advertised as a 1/10 scale car. That means it's actually for the 7 inch scale, bigger than the 6 inch scale. My first thoughts are, the car is bigger than I expected, and that is a good thing. The doors do not open, and frankly that really sucks. It's going to make it really hard to get a figure in and out of this thing. I wish the roof would come off. Maybe some people customize this thing, cut the doors open, add hinges. I would love to see what happens in the future. So the windows are open on the sides. Door does not come open. It's got rubber wheels. They spin both sides. Little step to get into the car. Engine. Beautiful. Look at that thing. Tons and tons of detail. It's got a light here for the exhaust. You see the back brake lights. It looks fantastic. Driver's side, got the steering wheel inside there. You can see the hood there. So obviously custom modded it. Then the bottom of the car, got the Hot Wheels logo, the on-off switch. Kind of basic looking at the bottom. But the detail, I'd say for $100, the size of this thing and all the detail, absolutely fantastic. But they couldn't have just made the roof removable or something like that. I do realize this is not necessarily for action figures. Hot Wheel only makes cars. But a lot of us out here are buying this to go with our McFarlane 7 inch scale, the Batman figures, and it looks like it's going to work great. Besides the doors not opening, my only other complaint, it just looks very plasticky. In the film, it looked like a metal armored tank, shaped like a muscle car. I get it is a toy, but just some initial thoughts. Now let's check out the measurements of this thing. As far as how long it is, 19 inches long. How tall it is, the tallest point, about 5.5 inches tall. And as far as how wide it is, about 9 inches wide. Now I wanted to look at the action features of this thing. and it said it took about 3 hours to charge it. So it's a good thing I already took care of that. So this thing is advertised having lights and radio control features. Let's check out the lights first. Here's a car with no lights on. And here, with the lights on, the lights will only stay solid lit if you have the remote control turned on. Here's how the headlights look in a very dimly lit room. It also has this light up feature on the back in the exhaust. And one of the biggest questions I had, can I put my McFarlane DC Multiverse Robert Pattinson Batman figure in this car? The car is advertised to be 1/10 scale. Mattel said it'll accommodate 6 and 7 inch action figures, but you know how that goes. Sometimes things just don't work out. McFarlane is the only company that made figures from the Batman besides Spin Master. Sometime, maybe a year from now, we'll get an SH Figure Arts version. Maybe eventually some Mayfix stuff. Mezco's one coming out, but once again, not for another year or so. So this is it. Can this figure fit in this car? So yes, the McFarlane Batman does fit in this car. Plastic cape and all. It's not even that tight. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass to wiggle him in through the passenger window, try to get him to a sitting position, slide him across, tuck his cape in there. His hands can hold the steering wheel. He looks good. His ears aren't being squashed on the ceiling. It works. Thank you. Just wasn't so inconvenient to do. But the car does serve the purpose I was hoping it would do. It works for my action figures. And here's a front view of the car with Batman inside. Now let's look at the remote control features. You got the remote control here. This will control the car. Goes backwards. Goes forwards. It's very fast. Turning this forward and back will rotate the tires. It is confusing as it doesn't go from left to right on the remote control. So I cleared some room in my reading room. I wanted to take this thing out for a spin. Put some NECA street side dioramas on the side. So let's take this thing out. You can see this thing, it can turn, you can go forward, you can go back. Overall, it's pretty fast. It drives okay, although the controls are kind of confusing. It looks good, and it functions well. Best of both worlds. And just wanted to show how fast this thing goes. I think it's on like 10 miles an hour, but it sure looks a lot faster than that. And here's the old Mattel radio-controlled Justice League Batmobile next to this new Mattel Hot Wheels The Batman Batmobile. Both pretty cool, impressive cars. Here's McFarlane, Robert Pattinson, Batman from The Batman, standing next to this Batmobile. They look fantastic together. So I'll say, for my intents and purposes, I bought this thing hoping it would work with McFarlane at the Batman collection, and it sure does. So between McFarlane's The Batman collection, we have the Drifter motorcycle, the Batcycle, and now the Batmobile. Here's this car, next to that Drifter motorcycle. They're more or less in perfect scale with one another. And here it is, next to the Batcycle. These two vehicles look great next to each other. For a Batman who's kind of early in his career, he's starting to get a nice little arsenal. He has a lot of options of which vehicle to choose. Now let's check it out, next to some other 6 and 7 inch scale Batman vehicles. And we'll start off with some more recently released ones and work our way backward. Here it is, next to the two McFarlane Batcycle and Drifter motorcycles from the Batman. Then, next to McFarlane's White Knight Batcycle and Death Metal Batcycle. And here it is, next to McFarlane's Batraptor. Here's this Batmobile, next to McFarlane's Batmobeast. Here it is, next to the 1966 Batmobile, the McFarlane version on the left, and the Mattel version on the right. These are intended for 6 inch scale figures. And now, next to a custom Batman The Dark Knight Returns bat tank that I recently acquired. Then, next to a couple of Spin Master Batmobiles. These are actually for the 1:6 scale, 12-inch tall figures, but they work and look great with your 6 and 7-inch scale stuff. Here's this, the Batman remote-controlled Batmobile, next to the Justice League version, the Ultimate Radio-Controlled Batmobile. This thing is also more or less 1/10 scale. It holds 6-inch scale figures, but the vehicle is a little bit too large compared to how it should be next to them. These are both from Mattel. Then, next to the Mattel DC Multiverse Justice League Batmobile, based off the same car, just a little bit smaller. It looks a little bit better, and it's properly scaled with Multiverse figures. And now, next to Mattel's The Flying Fox from Justice League. This will accommodate a smaller 6-inch scale figure. And next to Mattel's Justice League Nightcrawler, this will also accommodate smaller 6-inch scale figures. Here it is, next to the DC Direct Batman the Animated Series Batmobile. This thing is intended for 6-inch scale figures, but it's quite roomy in there. And now, next to the DC Direct Batman the Animated Series Batwing, one of the largest Batman vehicles out there. Very impressive. And here, next to a Soap Studios The Dark Knight Tumbler. This is also a remote-controlled RC car. This thing is for 6-inch scale figures. Then, with a Hot Toys 1/12 scale Dark Knight Rises The Bat. This will accommodate the smaller end of 6-inch scale collecting, but it's a gorgeous piece. And finally, next to both a Mattel Power Attack Batmobile and a Mattel Batman Missions Batmobile. Both these are for the 6-inch scale Batman figures. Now let's check it out, next to some action figures from different various companies, to see how it fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you don't know which lines you can use with it. Now as far as what's going to fit inside, if I can fit a McFarlane DC Multiverse figure with a plastic cape in there, a lot of action figures will fit in there, but it is a pain in the ass. I would say pretty much anything smaller than McFarlane, as long as it's articulated enough and it's not too bulky, should be able to fit in there. Mafex, Mezco, SH Figure Arts, no problem. Here it is, next to some Jakks Pacific wrestling figures, some DST or Diamond Select toys, and some McFarlane toys. Then, with some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures, some NECA figures, and some Jazzwares AEW wrestlers. And here it is, with some Mattel wrestling figures, some Mezco 1/12 collective figures, and some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And finally, here it is, with some Mafex figures, some Hasbro Marvel Legends, and some SH Figure Arts action figures. That's a cool thing about this Batmobile. It looks good with your larger 7-inch figures, and it still looks pretty good with your smaller 6-inch figures. I mean, maybe a little bit big next to the SH Figure Arts action figures, but definitely usable. Overall, it's a very nice car. My biggest complaint would be that the doors don't function, or the roof doesn't come off. If one of those things would happen, it would make this thing a whole lot easier and convenient to use, and put on a whole other level. But as it is, it looks fantastic. The detail on the engine and the hood are great. The driving features are nice. Operates pretty smoothly. The lights on the front and the back are very strong. They look great. It is bigger than I initially expected, and that is a very good thing. When I found out they're making this, I was hoping it would work with my McFarlane figures, and it sure does. If I had to rate this thing, I'm going to give it a very solid 8 out of 10. I'm enjoying it. I think it looks nice. It's going to be a great addition to the Bat Armory. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure and action figure vehicle reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.